And here we go. Welcome back. I am Unstable, joined here by Relcoon for the FX Open Invitational Series Group F Winners Match. We are in game number 3 right now. And it is going to be Slayer's Crank up against STParting. Cloud Kingdom is the map. Let's get straight into it. We've had some pretty quick games so far, Relcoon.
Yeah, I mean, we really got into that cancel in the early game from Parting, but really what that game came down to was that Sentry. If he could have bought some more time, get that Immortal out with a good force field, he definitely could have held that. The Immortal wasn't that far away from finishing, it's possible. But bringing the Sentry down like that, I have absolutely no idea what caused him to do that. It had to have been a misclick, because that was just like, literally that decision just gave the game away.
Absolutely. Alrighty, so we do have Crank up here at the top right as our pink Protoss, and of course Parting down here at the bottom left as our red Protoss as well. So, who do you think is going to take this game down then, Relcoon?
I have no idea. The momentum is definitely in Crank's favor after that last game, because like I'm saying, that was most likely a misclick. And those types of losses really can put somebody on tilt.
Yeah.
But Parting's a good player, so I don't think he's the type who's just going to lose another 7-minute game just because, oh my god, I can't believe I didn't do that. So, I mean, definitely slight favor of Crank for momentum, but beyond that, I have no idea.
Alrighty, so double gas coming out here for Crank before Cybercore. Whereas we do have the normal gas times here by Parting, so let's see how that changes things up. We do see that Crank was a little bit behind in the gas for a second there. But he's actually going to catch up and start screaming forward ahead over Parting here, but not by much. By the time the second gas is up, yeah, it's already up now. Parting's now putting his units in the gas, so it's really more of a stylistic thing. Do you get that one gas geyser then Cybercore or etc, because the gas amounts are pretty much identical at the moment.
Yeah, he is actually going for that quick Sentry again, so maybe he's decided, like in that other series, where he starts off with something greedy, it didn't work, then he goes he wins the next game, then tries something greedy again to catch the opponent off guard. See if he tries to go for that quick tech once again. I don't think the Sentry got scouted this time either. So, Probe is going home. He's not going back up, so he won't see that. Do you see the Stargate once again? So he's going to go for that Phoenix build once more. And we'll see. Parting, I don't think he's going to do the 4-gate Warp Prism again. That's really risky to do in the game number 3 of a best of 3. But if he does, definite style points right there. Like, that takes a brave person to do that kind of a build again, especially in the game number 3.
Yeah, well, the Stargate's about to finish up now. Locally going to see some Phoenixes pop out. We do have 3 gateways here for Crank, and we only have 2 gateways so far for Parting, so we might actually see him expand behind this. As we have seen that be a little bit more common these days, lots more expansions coming into play, but no, he's going to go for that robotics facility. And we're going to have a Phoenix out very quickly. He's actually rallied to exactly see where that pylon is. That is huge here for Crank.
That's not an uncommon place to place a pylon on this map.
Yeah.
But we've already seen the build from Parting is different at this point, so it's not the 4-gate Warp Prism. He got the second gateway much faster. The last time it was gateways straight into robotics, then adding the extra gateways so they'd finish right at the perfect time. So he's definitely going for something else. Like you said, this is a common way to lead into the expansion, and he did just drop a pylon down there at the low ground, so that does look like what he's going after. This could be dangerous for Parting because well-played Phoenix maneuvers can be very good against robotics openings.
Well,
if you manage the energy well.
Well, he did just try to go up the ramp just then, and it was forced to cancel both his pylons and back off. He just got a pylon on the low ground now. He's just checking behind here. Likely to see it expand behind this. Observer coming out as well. He sees the 2 Phoenixes coming into his main base now. Going to lose a couple of these gas probes. The most frustrating probes to lose because it's actually then you got to pay attention and like, oh, how many probes do I need to put back on gas, etc.
He already fixed it.
Yeah.
So
he fixed it pretty much instantly, but it's just frustrating to have to deal with. But we do see the expansion coming out now for both players. because Parting decided to go for it, and then Crank's like, well, okay, I'll expand too.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you got to be on top of the scouting, got to know that he went for the expansion, because if you don't follow it up with your own, then you're forced into an all-in situation because you have to kill him because your Nexus is too late. But this is definitely one of those positions where Crank is fine. He does not need to all-in right now. He's going to take out that pylon, make sure that Parting can't catch him off guard. There is the Observer flying to his main base to get some scouting to make sure he knows how he's going to transition out of this. We'll see that the Stargate is idle, which is really important. Means that he knows how many Phoenixes are. He didn't go really overboard on them. So he can not have to worry about having huge Phoenix fleet flying around in this game. And he does scout out that robotics as well. So Parting has some good information right now. His Nexus is a little bit earlier. He has a good core of units. Going to try and take out these Phoenixes. They are going to get away, but he's doing a good job of defending against them now. So Parting's sitting in a good position right now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so looking at the actual worker counts, 29 to 31, so very even. We have a second observer on the field for Parting, something a lot of more Protoss are doing these days. Just in case one of them gets sniped, you can have one at home as well as abroad. We do see him coming back into the main base now. As Immortals are coming out for Crank, he's already got one, he's getting his third gas at his natural. Same for Parting here at the moment. But
yeah,
overall,
both players making Immortals right now, and then adding Robotics Bays at pretty much the same time. Phoenix is poking in and getting deflected again, but the Phoenixes aren't dying. So Crank's doing a good job with these three Phoenixes of still trying to apply pressure, but not losing any. And with them both moving into like the couple Immortals and the Colossus, if these Phoenix can stay alive and have energy when they go into that battle, that'll turn the tides a decent amount for Crank. A really good lift in an Immortal Colossus Stalker fight can really turn the tides for you.
Well, we do see these Phoenixes coming in yet again. Does spot the Forge here by Parting that he just finished up. That is going to give him a significant advantage, but he's going to get caught. Does lose one. Barely loses one, though.
Yeah, that last Phoenix entry was really risky, and the way he had to fly out with the units being split by Parting, he had to take some Stalker shots, but he decided to go in one more time, cost him a Phoenix, and now he's got to wonder, you know, 2 Phoenixes, is that enough worth keeping alive, or do we just keep harassing? Both players are now working on getting the Thermal Lance out, but Crank is trying to get the Colossus out faster, while Parting went for an extra Immortal. That extra Immortal helps if they engage soon, but if the Colossus count gets up really high before they engage, then Crank's going to be a little bit advantaged by having that extra Colossus. So this is really going to come down to, well, when they attack for the advantage, but then right as I say that, Parting actually adds his second robotics much sooner, so he might be able to catch up in that Colossus count if Crank doesn't add his in a second.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, so with this +1 finishing up, that's going to give Parting a significant lead. I'm surprised that after seeing that Forge that Crank hasn't put his own Forge down, just to try and even things up. Because even, like, if Parting ends up getting +2 before anything's been upgraded for Crank, he's pretty much just going to walk straight over everything. +1's finishing up just in a second now. The Colossi count at 1 apiece, seconds coming out a little bit quicker for Parting, though.
Yeah, this is really dangerous for Crank, because, well, Parting has the 3... Crank has the 3 Immortals. I got that backwards. But he's going to be outclassed in these Colossus very quickly, because the second Robotics is done, they're coming out 2 at a time. He really, really wants, like with the 3 Immortals, he wants to force a fight against his opponent, because if there's only a few Colossus on the field, some nice target firing from those Immortals can really rip through them. So you can see he is moving into the center with the triple Immortal. He needs to try and get into engagement as soon as possible.
Well, during all of this, Parting's actually added a second robotics facility, so he's going to get more Colossi out on the field. Crank also took out the probe up here, and sorry, not the probe, the observer for Parting during that. But with these extra 2 Colossi here, he's going to have a 2-to-1 advantage on a Crank here. I'm not really a fan of this engagement because he has no idea that these extra Colossi are there. He also has +1.
This is 4 Colossus against 1, against 2, second one coming in now. So if he focuses these Immortals down, make sure the Colossus don't get splashed. This is a really bad fight for Crank.
Yeah.
He's going in, he kind of feels like he has to because of the Immortal count. but I just don't see this working out for him. Now the Immortals are taking the splash damage from the Colossus. They're all standing right next to each other, so it's working quite well. And Crank is still going back into the fight, trying to focus fire those Colossus for Parting, but Parting withdraws them, so they are not going down. Now Crank is just taking heavy losses. All the Immortals are down. There's just no way he can win this fight now.
Yeah, especially with the extra Colossus just coming out. That looks like it is going to be it. The Colossus now falls for Crank. Parting is 20 supply up, but he's got a 4 Colossus count to like none. Looking at the army supplies, 11 army supply for Crank, 44 for Parting, and that is going to be it. GG called by Crank. Congratulations to Parting. He will move on into the round of 32 for the FX Open Invitational Series, and Crank will drop down into the final match. We'll jump into the losers match now to see the STC versus Fenner and see who joins Crank in that final game.